Home prices are going up, up, and up. It is just getting insane out there. And we know springtime is coming up. And as real estate experts, we all know springtime is when people go out and buy houses. That is when you will see the peak of the market. Spring going into summer, and then that fall area is when it kind of drops off. Winter, most times you take it off the market, right? So what is the housing market going to look like this coming up spring? My name is Orlando and welcome to my channel. And let's go into this article here where it says what to expect in 2022 spring housing market as told by 3 charts. It says entering into 2022, the consensus among much of the real estate industry was that spring housing market, the industry's peak season, as I stated earlier, would be a bit less frenzy this year. After all, it couldn't get much worse than 2022 spring housing market when over 70, hear that guys, over 70 of the homes listed saw a bidding war, right? Look, there is going to still be a bidding war coming up in this spring, right? In 2022 spring, you will continue to see houses continue to be bidded, especially in the bidding war. I promise you, you will see a lot of homeowners pricing houses below or at such a desirable purchase price that individuals will be like, ooh, I want to get this deal. And you will see from my last video where there will be people lined up throughout the whole block trying to get to that house, trying to put a bid in. And that's what sellers want. You create this bidding war. All of a sudden, it's emotions that are involved trying to buy the home process. And all of a sudden, you're over $200,000 over the asking price, right? You're willing to do anything to get this house to beat out 20 other people. And let me tell you what, guys, I always say this, and I will continue to say it. Do not overpay. Do not get caught into that bidding war mentality. It is a lose-lose situation. It's a win for the seller, but a lose-lose for you. It says, unfortunately for would-be home buyers, the conventional wisdom has shifted. Not only does the spring housing market look like it's going to be red hot, there's a chance this goes down as the hottest spring home buying season ever. Already bidding wars are picking up again. And then it says, spring buying has sprung. It's wild. It's crazy out there. It's causing such frustration at this point in the real estate market. The housing market is coming off a year in which U.S. home prices soared 18.8%, which is crazy. Do you think, guys, that a housing market should be able to go up 20% every year? How long do you think that we can keep that going up, right? Keep that going, right? It's not going to happen. It's going to eventually crash. There is no way we can continue to go up 20%. And I know people fight me on the whole housing crash thing, right? And they go, Orlando, it's not going to crash. It's never going to crash. There's not enough inventory and there's too much demand. And I go, yeah, that's true. But we're going up 20% every year. When do you think that's going to stop? You think that's going to continue to go? You think a house that is worth $300,000 and went up $200,000 in 1 year is going to go up another $200,000 the next year after that, and then $100,000? It's not going to happen. So it looks like Fortune did this graph of showing exactly what's happening with the inventory. And if you take a look at this graph here, it shows you everything in brown, basically, you see is at a negative 30% when it comes to inventory, which is basically the entire United States. If you look at the tan areas, you can kind of see some of those areas, but the whole United States is pretty much all brown, right? All brown, negative 30% inventory. And then it also says here, when the pandemic struck, national real estate groups projected that the housing market would enter a slump, but it didn't happen. Instead, the summer of 2020, the housing market was booming at First-time millennial home buyers who were enticed by record low mortgage rates rushed in to buy. The uptick in home buyers' demand saw inventory dry up. By spring 2021, housing inventory was down 32% from pre-pandemic levels. With buyers outnumbering homes for sale, they had no choice but to offer overlisting if they wanted to win. And this is what I'm talking about. Yes, I get it. There's not that many houses, but why overpay $50,000 to $100,000 for a home? And you got to remember, this is being pushed by not the properties gradually continuing to add value or appreciated in value. This is automatic 50%. I mean, automatic, because you cannot win a house. So to win a house, you're just overpaying just to overpay. On top of that, what we saw last year was individuals getting rid of contingencies, getting rid of appraisals, getting rid of even looking at the property. And people are going to do that this year. And this is one of the things that I continue to tell people. Do not, do not go in and give away all of your rights when it comes to buying a home just to win the house. You may end up buying a house that's a cardboard box that has foundation crumbling, the roof is falling, the appraisal came in low and you overpaying, right? Like, there's so many things by you not taking all of the things that you need to do, appraisal, looking at the property, doing inspections and all that other stuff. If you throw that all away, the chances of you getting a lemon of a house go up higher, a lot higher. And I've heard it, I've seen it. You know, a lot of buyers' regret happened in 2021. You don't want to be a buyer that has buyer regret at 2022 just because you wanted to win a house. But we continue to see these housing prices continue to skyrocket. And then we've got another chart that's done by Zillow, Zillow. But here's the thing. What I found interesting about this is that inventory levels did begin to rise last fall, but then they fizzled out in November as the number of homes for sale began to shrink again. Indeed, inventory levels in January were 42% below January's 2020 levels. Among the 327 housing markets tracked by Zillow, 254 have inventory levels that are down by more than 30%. Simply put, the housing market is even tighter now than it was heading into the frenzy spring 2021 housing market. They have this chart here, and it shows January 21st, and then it shows January 22, that's where we are right now, and then it says January 2023, and then it shows the growth. So we could see this growth happening in January 21, and it's just high, high, high. There's a little dip here, and then in January 22, it starts to pick back up, and then we're even higher than we were in January 21. What does this mean for you? This means that if you buy right now, I believe you are buying an overpriced house. You are buying a house that is being pushed up by bidding wars, that is being pushed up by people who are willing to overpay just to get into a house that's in a good school district. You know, they prefer not to rent, that they believe that the housing market values that they are overpaying for right now will be worth it. But I'm here to tell you, guys, I will follow this. I'm telling you now, I do not believe these prices, if they continue to go up, especially go up from what they paid last year, will be sustainable. I believe that the prices will dip when a recession does happen. And what is one of the things that's going to dip first? Housing. It's gonna happen, guys. It's gonna happen. And here is a key factor, guys, of where I'm getting this information, only from, I'm actually in real estate, but let's dig into this and figure out where I'm thinking this slowdown is gonna happen, right? If you guys look at this, it says economic growth expected to slow as Fed wrangles inflation. Okay, it says raising mortgage rates and even higher home prices project to limit affordability. What does that mean, guys? With inflation at its highest levels in 4 decades, the Federal Reserve is expected to enact a more aggressive course of monetary policy tightening than previous forecasts. Oh, wow, 50 basis points higher. But here is what I really want to get to, because all of this stuff is, you guys, if I go over it, it's boring stuff. But the one thing that we need to look at is the GDP. So 2022 real GDP growth from 3.12% to 2.8%. So that means that our GDP growth will go down. That means that they will not be spending as much as they did before. Now, this information is coming directly from Fannie Mae. You know, the people who go ahead and give mortgages for homes. They're saying that the GDP is going to slow down. So what does that mean? That means that if affordability isn't happening with homes, people won't be able to buy homes. So something is going to happen here, guys. Look, and we all know how this goes. When it happens, everybody will be like, yep, I should saw this coming. But you have to look at the signs before. Look at the red flags. We see this all the time. So the red flags, we see the red flags, you know, increasing of housing, 20% each year. I don't know, red flag. Gas prices going up to $5, $7 because of the economic situation. I don't know, red flag. You know, I could continue. I could probably give you 5 to 6 more things that are red flags. And if we just look at the past, guys, if we just look at history and go, these things happen, which cause this, we can see that this is not probably the best time to jump all in and buy a house. Now, obviously, you have to do your research, guys. So once again, I hope you got value out of this content. I'm gonna need you to watch this next video here. It will help you get into your first rental property and learn all things financial. Also, too, check out in the description our membership program, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks.